Hello everyone, and welcome to our tutorial series on arrays in Xamarin Studio. We'll be using C# to code our code, and we'll be running the apps on both the iOS and the Android simulators. Now, arrays are an excellent way to store a list of variables. So let's say we have a list of characters or a list of integers that we want to store in one place. Well, that's where arrays come in handy. We can store basically just a list of as many variables as we want, but they have to be of a single type. So what I mean by that is, for example, we'll look at this a little later in detail, but let's say we have an integer array. Then basically it's just going to be a list of integers, and it's going to be contained inside this one object. Now, arrays are a little different from variables in that they're considered objects. So we have to, if we want to create one, we have to call the new operator. So let's say we call this int array. And we want to create it, we would have to say new int array, and let's say 3 elements. So there's a few things to note here. First of all is the square brackets. So this symbolizes that this is going to be an array and not just a single variable. So without these square braces, we just have one integer variable rather than an array of integers. And then we have our name as before. Now this is the next thing to note, is the new operator. So if we want to call an array, we have to call the new operator. And that just basically creates an array object. And then this right here is telling it again what kind of an array it is. In this case, it's an integer array. And the number in these square braces here is how many elements we're going to have in the array. There's a few different ways to set up your array. This is just one of them, and we'll explore some more ways later on. But just keep these things in mind. Square brackets make it an array. It's an object, so we have to call new. And this is the size. So once you call a size on an array, it's a fixed size, and we have to have exactly that many elements. And also, in some languages you can, but in C# you cannot include different variable types within, for example, an integer array. So if we have an array of ints, we've declared it to be an integer array, we couldn't add strings or booleans or any kind of other value into it. Alright, that's our basic intro, and our first video will be on Boolean arrays.